It's one of the skills that I learned in my school. I was overwhelmed and I'm sure of that one, 'cause I learned it back in grade school when I was young. She said you was funny, I said you were funny. She said thank you and I said no.
The mix is so much easier in person. But please, Tara, tell the listenership what we're listening to.
That is Underwhelmed by Sloan. All I needed to hear was that drone at the beginning, and I knew exactly what was coming.
Me too.
Sloan, Sloan. They have made my life incredibly difficult over the past, 30 years.
Right.
Because my name is Slone, which nobody spells correctly.
Even an expert like myself has to think for a few seconds on how to spell Tara Sloan's last name.
I know. It's an unusual spelling, but I think Sloan, the band, made it worse. So thanks, guys.
So, reminder to the listenership, you're not a Toronto girl.
I did live here a couple of times in my early life, but no, Halifax and Nova Scotia is where I call home. And so I was around during the Sloan years and in fact worked at Sam the Record Man with Jay Ferguson and knew all those guys from around and watched the whole explosion. I love them so much. I love them as people, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Well, as you can imagine, I have follow-up questions, Tara Sloan. So,
Okay.
what year would you say it was when you were working with Jay Ferguson at Sam the Record Man in Halifax, Nova Scotia?
So it would have been, it was more than okay, so I started there when I was in 10th grade. So,
Yeah, it's worth noting, those guys are older than you.
yes. Yeah,
Because you're my age, and I think about them as like older guys. Okay.
Yeah, I was a part-time, it was my high school job.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it would have been 88, 89 kind of thing.
Okay, so work with me here, Tara. We're doing important work here. You know I cover the Canadian alt-rock scene very closely. This is my whole purpose in life, I'd say. Okay, so you and Jay Ferguson were friends?
Yeah, as much as he wanted to be friends with like a 15-year-old girl.
But he's a nice guy. Like, he's one of the nicest
he's so
people.
nice.
Right.
Yes, so nice.
He would be very nice to you, and
Oh, yeah.
He's your colleague at Sam the Record Man in Halifax?
Yes. Yeah. Super nice. And we did, there's a camaraderie that happens when you're working at that kind of place, but it's not like he's like calling me. But yes, I know him and I like him very
You're so
much.
nervous you're going to make it sound like you were BFFs, and then I'm going to be talking to Jay one day, and he's going, oh yeah, we worked together, but we weren't going out for, coffee or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I was a teenager.
You can have coffee as a teenager.
I did. I drank a lot of coffee as a teenager.
See, I actually, in real time, I was going to say go out for a beer, and I actually changed it to coffee in real time because you were only 15.
I did, however, and I feel like the statute of limitations has passed. I did have I think I had the sort of protection of the Sam's group. So we would often all go out to the Seahorse for beer.
Scandalous.
Scandalous, yes.
Okay. That's the real talk I'm looking for here. So in the background, I don't even know if via Zoom you can hear it, but in the background, I still have Underwhelmed going, and my heart rate's going up because it's the first Sloan song I ever heard. I heard it on CFNY 102.1, and I guess about the year it was released, whatever that was, 91 or I can't remember now, early 90s.
Yeah.
But it's still, and this is I'm looking like if there's a German word for this, when the first song you hear from a band stays your favorite song from that band, even though they put out extraordinary material subsequently. Like, there's so many bands where the first song I heard is my favorite, and I wonder, is it my favorite? It's probably my favorite because it's the gateway to that band. It was the one I loved first.
I would say, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that theory holds true always, but for me, that's my favorite Sloan song too.
Yeah.
But I also think it was like more representative. It wasn't just about the first song you heard from that band. It was like that band represented a movement, right? That was sort of simultaneous with the grunge movement in out of Seattle, that there was this crazy Halifax thing that was happening. And so I don't know. For me, it just it's very much of an era, and so there's a lot more nostalgia that accompanies it.
I'll cross promote the fact there is an episode in the Toronto Mike archive that is simply an episode about Underwhelmed. So I've had all four members of Sloan over, and this is a Chris Murphy song. So Chris Murphy, he wrote it, he sings on it, and he brought this to, yeah, Smeared was the first album. What a great album that was. Holy smokes. You're right. We had our own like little grunge scene going on in your hometown there.
Yeah, it was wild. It was like all these bands were getting signed to Sub Pop and stuff, and they were on Geffen, I think. And
yeah, well, yeah, because Twice Removed came out on Geffen.
Yeah, so it was a funny moment, and it wasn't just Halifax too. It was like Eric's Trip out of New Brunswick, and there was just like this marriage jail out of Halifax.
Yeah,
So there was just really cool like maritime
Super Friends.
Super Friends, yeah.
Did you say Thrush? You said Thrush Hermit, right?
No, I didn't, but I should have. God, yes, Thrush Hermit, of course.
And even back then, am I right? Sarah McLachlan's there still?
She was already gone.
Oh.
She'd already left Nova Scotia.
Okay.
And I wonder about her relationship with Nova Scotia because she doesn't talk about it very much.
No, she's sort of. If you weren't savvy like us, Tara, you would think she was a Vancouver gal.
Right, but she did. She went to Queen Elizabeth High School, which is the school that I went to. But she's, I think, 3 or 4 years older than me, so we weren't there at the same time. But yeah, she doesn't really. I don't know. I feel like she doesn't identify as like a real Haligonian.
But I used to be really into back then. I would be into like East Coast Music Awards and stuff, and she was all over that. So that's how I knew she was like a Maritimer.
Well, I don't know if I ever meet her. I've never met her.
I haven't either. Can we fix that? Like, what if all three of us got together for a coffee or something?
I think that we can talk about if she has any issues with Halifax.
Yeah, like let's just have an intervention. Like, what is your problem? Why are you ashamed to be a Maritimer?
You should never be.
No, the nicest people. Okay. Oh yeah, so I'm going somewhere here. I know I went on a little tangent here, but I love talking about Sloan. So all four members have been in the basement. I've had like deep dives with each of them, and I'll often ask them about this name Sloan. Okay, and they kind of always have this look on their face like, oh, there's this, like they have to print the legend. Like I always sense this. This is all speculation on my part, but they tell it some buddy of theirs they called Slow One.
Right, that's always the story I heard.
And I'm here to tell you I don't believe that story. I'm here to tell you, and then you could react to this, but I'm going to say definitively on the record, this episode of Toronto Mike, I'm saying it out loud. I believe the band name Sloan was a reference to Tara Sloan from Sam the Record Man in Halifax. They just changed the spelling.
That's ridiculous. No.
Tell me why it's ridiculous.
Why? Because they didn't know who, like, I feel like, I don't know if the band existed before I knew Jay, but I cannot imagine. I just cannot imagine that I played enough of a role in their existence that they took the name. I mean, who knows? Maybe they just heard it and they like it. But yes, I always heard Slow One.
Yes, but I believe that is printing the legend the way we say, the way we talk about Neil Peart saying the word subdivisions in the Rush song. Like, right. We print the legend. We all know that's a sample of Mark Daly on City News, but that's a Chum City property. It's cleaner to just say it was the drummer. But I feel like it's easier and cleaner to say this is because of a buddy they called Slow One instead of saying, oh, well, there was this cute young woman who worked at Sam the Record Man who had the last name Sloan, and we liked how it sounded, so we changed the spelling.
Have you ever asked them that?
So let me tell you a little. So they had a new album out. I'm looking at it right now, actually, based on the bestseller. There's vinyl in my studio that you could see if you were here, Tara. So next time you can see it. But I had Jay and Chris over to talk about that album. And then I met you at a JD Tragically Hip event. Do you remember this?
Yes, of course.
I know. I guess I just telling the listenership. So it wasn't that long ago. Do you have a good memory, Tara Sloan? Okay, so
no, I mean I am a 52-year-old woman, but that I remember. Big stuff I remember.
You're this
Don't know
second
where to put my
52-year-old
now.
woman I've had on Toronto Mike in a row because I always say because I'm born in 74. I know you're 73, but I just had a woman named Michelle Crystal on who was also born in 73.
And did she talk about also like forgetting things like, putting milk in the cupboard instead of the fridge and
No, but
things
you ready
like
for
that?
this? She met. So the reason I had her on is she's the widow of a broadcaster who's no longer with us, sadly. But his name was Andrew Crystal, and she met and fell in love with Andrew Crystal in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Always comes down to Halifax, doesn't it?
It's a mind blow. Okay, so is it plausible? Because I will at some point ask this question of Jay Ferguson, who I don't believe Jay can tell a lie. So
I dare you. I mean,
I
he
will.
will he will laugh. He will laugh and say no. But
But will you at
anyway,
least say it's plausible? It's possible.
listen, I don't know the Sloan name timeline, but sure, 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 it's plausible. I mean, I definitely know that I existed before
But Jay knew you
Sloan did.
existed before the band got the name Sloan.
See, that I don't know.
Well,
I
if your timeline, if you're accurate about, okay, well, these are questions for Jay Ferguson and Chris Murphy,
Yes, well, I look forward to the answers.
but I did want to bring it up with you because I think it's a fascinating little can rock nugget if that ends up to be true. And I believe it could be true that Sloan took the name Sloan because Jay was working at Sam the Record Man with Atara Sloan. So I'm going to leave it with me to talk to the Sloan guys and then I'll report back to you.
Okay, I have one thing to add to that I did notice in the video for the other man.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't remember it exactly. I think it's in a school or something. Anyway, there's some sheet of paper, maybe it's like on a door or something that says Sloan, but it's Slone. And the only person, there's no other, I mean, other than my family, it's because it's an abbreviation. My name is it would have been Tara Slonemski back in, 100 years ago.
I'm glad you're sharing this with me. This is a huge clue. And I will just remind you that song, that's a Jay Ferguson song.
No, it's not, is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was a Chris Murphy song.
Oh, I thought it was a Jay. Okay, well, I'm going to have to search that one if I don't sound like an idiot here. Because in my mind, I'm hearing it in my mind, and it's Jay Ferguson singing it. Man,
I feel like it's Chris. I think it's Chris.
oh.
But anyway, look, go watch the video. There is Slone, and I've never
Oh,
seen anybody else spell it that way.
okay. It is you're right. I shouldn't question a maritimer on anything to do with Sloan history. That is a Chris Murphy song. But okay, my apologies to the entire Sloan organization. Apparently inspired by Chris Murphy's relationship with another Canadian rocker. Do you want to guess who?
Not me. There's just I'm not at the center of everything Sloan
No,
did.
but I did say another Canadian rocker, so definitely not you. But
Leslie Feist.
correct.
Yes.
Good for you.
See, Sloan trivia.
Okay, that's all I didn't even I'm not even recording this. I just wanted to do Sloan trivia with you. So, okay, so I will speak to the Sloan guys about you being the inspiration for the band name Sloan.